Welcome back to online teaching of science lecture of standard 8. Today we will start the revision of lesson number 14, measurement and effects of heat. Sources of heat. First one, sun. The sun is the biggest source of heat received by the earth. A large amount of heat is generated due to the nuclear fusion taking place in its center. And in this process, hydrogen nuclei fuse together to form helium nuclei, generating heat in the process. And some of it reaches the earth in the form of the light and heat. Second one, earth. As the temperature at the center of the earth is high, the earth is also a source of heat. This heat is called geothermal energy. Third one, chemical energy. When fuels like wood, coal, petrol, etc. burn, there is a chemical reaction between the fuel and oxygen. And so, heat is generated in these reactions. Next source of heat, electrical energy. In your daily life, you have seen several equipments which produce heat with the help of electricity. Example, it is at your home, electric press, electric heater, etc. And thus electricity is a source of heat. Atomic energy. A huge amount of heat is produced in a very short time when the nuclei of some elements like uranium, thorium, etc. undergo fission. And this is used in atomic energy projects. So, all are the sources of heat. The unit of heat in SI system is joule, while that in CGS units is calorie, and 1 calorie is equivalent to 4.18 joule. 1 calorie heat is the heat required to increase the temperature of 1 gram of water through 1 degree Celsius. Units of temperature. Temperature is measured in units of degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit and Kelvin. Kelvin is used in scientific experiments, while the other two are used in our daily life. The relation between the three units is shown by the formula. First one, F minus 32 divided by 9 is equal to C divided by 5. Second one, K is equal to C plus 273.15. In this table, some specific temperatures are given in the 3 scales. Here, there is given description, degree, F means Fahrenheit, degree C means degree Celsius and K means Kelvin. Boiling point of water, it is the 212 degree Fahrenheit and 100 degree Celsius and 373.15 Kelvin. Freezing point of water, it is 32 degree Fahrenheit and 0 degree Celsius and 273 Kelvin. What is the room temperature of Fahrenheit? Here, the room temperature is 72 degree Fahrenheit, 23 degree Celsius and 296 Kelvin. Next one, boiling point of mercury. It is only in degree Celsius, means 356.7. Freezing point of mercury, it is also in degree Celsius, minus 38.8 degree Celsius. Here we can observe the different types of thermometers. A thermometer is shown in figure A. It has a narrow glass tube which has a bulb at one end. The bulb and the part of the tube is filled with a liquid. Earlier, mercury was used, but as it is harmful for us, it has been replaced with alcohol. The rest of the volume of the tube has vacuum and its other end is closed. The bulb is kept in contact with the object whose temperature is to be measured so that its temperature becomes same as that of the object. Because of the increased temperature, the alcohol inside it expands and its level in the tube rises. Using the properties of the expansion of alcohol, the temperature can be obtained from the level of the alcohol and the tube of the thermometer is marked accordingly. Now we will see the figure B. You can also show the clinical thermometer. As the body temperature of a healthy person is 37 degrees Celsius and clinical thermometers are designed to measure temperatures between 35 degrees Celsius to 42 degrees Celsius. And these days, instead of the above type, digital thermometers are used for clinical purposes. Digital thermometer, it is given in the C diagram. See there. This does not use the expansion of liquid due to heat. Instead, it has a sensor which can measure the heat coming out from the body directly, and from that can measure the temperature of the body. Okay, and the thermometers used in laboratory are similar to the one shown in figure, except that the range of temperatures that it can measure is large, spanning 40 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius or even larger. A special type of thermometer is used to measure the minimum and maximum thermometers in a day. It is called a maximum minimum thermometer, and you can observe that in D diagram. It is the maximum minimum thermometer. Specific heat. The specific heat of an object is the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of unit mass of that substance through 1 degree, and it is represented by the symbol C. Its unit in SI is joule per kg, means kilogram degree Celsius, and in Celsius is calorie per gram degree Celsius. calorimeter. We have seen that a thermometer is used to measure the temperature of an object, but a calorimeter is used to measure the heat content of an object. And using this equipment, we can measure the heat produced or absorbed in a physical or chemical process. A calorimeter is shown in figure. You can also observe that similar to a thermoflask. A calorimeter has two vessels, an inner and an outer one. This way, no heat can be transferred from the inner to the outer vessel or from the outer to the inner vessel. Thus, the inner vessel is thermally isolated from the surroundings. The inner vessel is made up of copper. A thermometer for measuring the temperature and a stirrer for stirring the liquid in the calorimeter are fitted in it. Water at a fixed temperature is placed inside the calorimeter. This means that the temperature of the inner vessel and that of the water in it are the same. When a hot object is placed in water, heat is exchanged between the hot object, water and the calorimeter, and all three reach the same temperature. As the calorimeter is thermally isolated from the surroundings, the total heat lost by the hot object is equal to the total heat absorbed by the calorimeter and water inside it. And similarly, if we put a cold object in the calorimeter, the cold object will receive heat from the water and its temperature will increase, while water and calorimeter will lose heat and their temperature will decrease. Expansion of solids means linear expansion. The linear expansion of a solid is the increase in the length of a wire or a rod of a solid due to increase in its temperature. Here is given the L2 is equal to L1 into 1 plus lambda delta T. Here is the lambda is the constant of proportionality and it is called the coefficient of linear expansion of the solid substance. Areal expansion of solids. Similar to linear expansion, the area of a sheet of a solid material also increases on heating, and this is called the areal expansion of solid, and this is given by the formula A2 is equal to A1 into 1 plus sigma delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and A1 and A2 are the initial and final areas of the sheet, and sigma is the coefficient of areal expansion of the solid. Now we will see volumetric expansion of solids. Similar to a sheet, a three-dimensional piece of a solid expands on all sides when heated and its volume also increases. This is called the volumetric expansion of a solid. This is given by the formula V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the solid, and beta is the volumetric expansion coefficient of the solid. Expansion of liquids. A liquid does not have a definite shape and it has a definite volume. So we can define a volumetric expansion coefficient for a liquid as here V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T, and here delta T is the change in temperature and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the liquid. Beta is the volumetric expansion coefficient of the liquid. Anomalous behavior of the water. The effect of heat on water is somewhat different from that for other liquids, and this is called the anomalous behavior of water. Expansion of gases. A gas does not even have a fixed volume. Gas expands on heating, but if the gas is kept in a closed box, its volume cannot increase but its pressure increases. You can also observe in this diagram there is the two bottle is there with the piston is there, and when the heating or the burner is there, when the heating, that time the pressure increases, and you can also observe their movable piston. Therefore, the expansion of a gas is measured by keeping its pressure constant, and this volumetric expansion coefficient is called the constant pressure expansion coefficient and is given by the formula V2 is equal to V1 into 1 plus beta delta T. Here delta T is the change in temperature, and V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the gas at constant pressure. Beta is the constant pressure expansion coefficient of the gas.